Well, I have a word of warning about this video. This is the trailhead to Goat Peak if you take the long way. I had a camera malfunction halfway or whenever, I'm not sure when, so the editing's going to be bad. I start here at the corner of Sycamore Valley and Garden at the Sycamore Creek sign, and this is where the trailhead starts. Hopefully most of the videos are there. I do apologize. My camera went from recording video to taking still shots, so the editing may be pretty poor. I haven't seen it yet, but just a word of warning, it's going to be kind of jumbled up, would be my guess. All right, hope you enjoy the video. Alrighty, we'll see what we're going to do today. Get my pack. We're going to try Goat Peak from a different angle. Talked to some people on the trail, said there is another way into Goat Peak. We're at Sycamore Creek. That's kind of a little bit ways out before we normally start our trail. We're going to head up out here just before we actually get into the development. So we're going to see how that works out, and tried it last week and obviously got the wrong trail altogether, so that didn't work out, but I saw some great things, which will be another video. So I'm getting my pack ready and then we'll get on the trail. Okay, so hopefully this is the beginning of the trailhead, kind of directly across from the Sycamore Creek sign there. Gonna start right here and we're gonna go kind of stick to the left. And I'll show you the next marker that we'll use to hopefully get on the trail that'll take us to Goat Peak. Going through a little wash here. This is probably only about 100 feet from where I started. Just wanted to give you an idea of the trail. So I haven't seen it on a map or anything, so it's just going to see how it goes today. But I will bring in the camera again when I get to my first turn. Okay, so if I have this correct, you're gonna come up to this graveyard, and I'll have another video about that in a bit. My next one. Hopefully I'll be doing that one today because there's some really great things that you can see out here. There's going to be a small trail off to our left which could be easily missed, and I believe that's the one we need to take. So again, we're going to kind of follow this field around, and there's just going to be a small little break, and I'm hoping that is gonna get me to somewhere connected to the Goat Peak trail. So coming out right here, you could easily miss it. There's really nothing marking it, just kind of a little bump in the road, and I'm hoping this is it. So I'll have another report soon. Well, this does appear to be going in the correct direction. That should be an obvious trail marker if you come this way. And I think we're going to skirt the back of the houses here in a moment. Okay, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but they're the houses we're going to try to get behind. Not quite sure how this is going to work out, because I think I need to be going further east and less south. Well, we'll get back to you. Well, this video is going to be longer than most. I am on the right track. I'm finally going east. The very, very far peak is our destination. We are going in the right direction. We're skirting the back of that development. But it is a long way out, so expect a long video. All right. Okay, last week when I tried this with Dawn, we were on completely the wrong ridge. We were over there. We did see a rock that marked up and over. That's the up, but we would have had to get over here, and there's absolutely no trail. We ended up bushwhacking and getting cut up pretty bad, just because there was no trail. And we did attempt to start to make it over here, but it was just too overgrown. So again, I'm looking at the right trail. You can't see the peak because it's behind the one that I'm looking at there. But to hopefully keep this video somewhat shorter, I'll stop the video at the top of the peak and probably not have anything on the way coming down. Well, finally, I can at least see my destination. There it is. It won't come out on the GoPro, but I do see the trail that we come in on. We're paralleling it, but we're going to have to cross. I don't know if that's Sycamore Creek. I think the far one is Sycamore Creek. This actually might be the bigger, no, I take it back. The far one must be Sycamore Creek. This will be another creek going into it. We're gonna have to cross there. What I do like about this is I've gained a lot of altitude, but I haven't had to come down to get back to the main trail. So where it cuts into the trail up to Goat Peak, I'm not sure, but we're going in the right direction, and there is our destination right there. Okay, I had to take this. Found an oddity on the trail. This is actually a mushroom growing on a trail. We haven't had rain in 2 weeks, and I'm guessing that's probably when it sprouted up from a spore. Something's been nibbling on it, but I don't believe I've ever, I'll get it in the sun as best I can. Don't believe I've ever seen that on the trail before, so that's pretty unique. Hey Don, if you're watching, we've seen this, but from the different angle. I'm not going to point the camera directly in the sun, but we were there looking this way, trying to say, well, we see the tags, but is there actually a trail? Well, there is. So we know where it's going to come into the trail on Goat Canyon, or Goat Peak. So I'll definitely get a shot of where it actually comes into the peak, the trail. So this is where it comes in at the trail. If you're coming up, it hit here, and then if you're going back, or if you're coming up, it would be this way, and that's going to continue off to Goat Peak. What is nice is there are, once you get over this knoll, there seems to be adequate ribbons. They used to be orange, but they're mostly faded yellow now, and can't be seen at a distance because they kind of blend in now, but they're pretty well marked all the way across the creek and back to the other side. So I'm going to stop and empty out my boots, and then now that we're back on the Goat Peak Trail, I think the last video will be from the peak. And I got a surprise. All right. Well, I made it to the peak, and I see that my GoPro was not on camera mode. It was just picture mode. Well, that's crummy. That means I'm going to have to do another video. That's okay. I know what to look for. I was going to point out that I've got breakfast cookies with me. Those are made by Mrs. Thiel's breakfast cookies. And I'm going to see if I can't get Bridget Rose Delights to make them so everyone can get them. So, well, that's kind of crummy. I really hope to get a good GoPro video, but it didn't come out. All right, back to the trail. Okay, well, since my GoPro was only doing pictures on, I'm not sure when that happened. I started the trip up here to Goat Peak from a new trail head. Somewhere along the point, I started taking pictures as opposed to video, so I'm going to try to catch the highlights coming back down from the peak. I don't know if you can see it there, but there is the geocache. All right, so the video, the edit's going to be a little bizarre, but we'll see how it comes out. Okay, well, I'm coming up on the spot that turns off to the place where I came in at. But if you're normally going back down on the Goat Peak Trail, that's where you would go. But we're going to go up over this hill. You will notice that once up here, there's going to be some ribbons. Although they're really faded, they're kind of like a dull yellow. Most of them have lost their orange. And I'm going to use that to navigate across the creek and back to the other trail. So actually, we're coming up on one, but at a distance you can't hardly see them because they're so faded. But there's a couple of them right there. Okay, I've just come up this dry creek bed. This is the last ribbon, and then we're going to get back on the trail that we took to come back in on this. So this is heading back to where we took off at. Well, coming back can be misleading. I've taken a couple wrong turns. I've got ribbons like that, you can see it, that actually are not part of the trail. I still need to get way further north as opposed to going this way, which is where that ribbon leads, but that's not the way I need to be going. So yeah, make notes when you come up here. So if you've gotten past the graveyard back there and you're following the regular trail, to get to Goat Peak, you're going to want to make a left right here. Take good notes. It's not very well marked. Yeah, it's difficult. Well, difficult in the aspect that navigation, not necessarily super difficult, although there's a lot of up and downs, and it does make the trip to peak, the Goat Peak, much longer. So that is the trail to Goat Peak.